He didn't get to see the main man, but he did see the main man, if you know what I mean. He saw the next president of the United States of America, didn't he?
The main man now being Joe Biden, of course, did meet with him. Then Speaker Johnson, who may not be Speaker Johnson for too much longer, blew him off. But then eventually, yes, while he was in Florida, did meet with Donald Trump. And it's interesting because if you follow Lord Cameron in terms of his rhetoric and positions around Israel and around Gaza and this whole conflict, this horrible conflict that began at the hands of Hamas on October 7th, it appears that instead of backing Israel's very battle for survival, Lord Cameron has, at least since the turn of the year, has been more vocal in backing the Palestinians instead of the Israelis. And he even appears to be indicating that Britain might be prepared to recognize Palestinian statehood before this war is even over. So he has made the same kind of turn that Joe Biden has in terms of being staunchly pro-Israel to now on the fence. And on the fence is never a good thing when you have a war like this going on, where every day seems to be moving further away from ceasefire or any sort of resolution or any sort of ending, quite frankly. And the only ending that's acceptable is all hostages out and Hamas completely and totally dismantled and defeated.
Exactly right. And this is why Conservatives in this country hold their head in their hands, Joe, because, you know, isn't it surprising that the former Prime Minister of this country, now the Foreign Secretary, goes to Washington and has more in common with Joe Biden than he does with anybody else?
Yes, and that's troubling because in Joe Biden's case, he needs to win the state of Michigan to win re-election.
Yeah.
And that has a very large Muslim Arab population there. 100,000 votes were cast for uncommitted instead of Biden during a primary basically was running against no one. So the left here is putting extreme pressure on Biden to go hard after Netanyahu and to push for a ceasefire without, and again, this is the whole key, the whole ballgame, the return of all hostages. If that's not included in any negotiation, then it's not a negotiation because you're leaving Hamas with their biggest bargaining chip.
Right. And we saw Hamas turn down the ceasefire agreement just the other day. So, you know, every time there is a sit-down organised, whether it's in Egypt or Qatar or wherever it is, it never really comes to anything because it seems to me that the Hamas organisers know that if they do give up the hostages, they have given up their final bargaining chip and they probably will be destroyed.